All right, all right. Still got a few minutes before 8 p.m. Central. So I got about 2 more minutes. So I'm going to Shalom, Shalom. Glad to see you here. Oh, you like to draw? I try, but I used to can really draw. And now my daughter, she is, and my son. I got two sons and one daughter that is artists. I'm telling you, they are good, sharp. Yeah. But I just thought I'd just kind of use that to help out in what we're going to discuss. And I hope you have some questions and some answers. If you have questions, you can have answers to what the topic is about. And we're going to cover polygamy. Yes, we're going to cover polygamy and what you think about it. And if the Most High has have ever shared anything to you, with you, not to you, but with you regarding polygamy. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about polygamy itself in this day and time. And we're going to really pretty much cover where our men are and leading our women into this and where they are it's why they're instilling this and where are they getting this from. Okay. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say it's a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall rest therein. I just want to say to you all in the live chat, it's good to see you. And we're going to cover polygamy. And we're going to cover it based on the best ability that the Ruach is willing to give us. He pretty much gave me a lot of information earlier, but he been dealing with me on it yesterday. And like I said, I did a 3-hour video. And then when he told me he had something for me this morning, he dropped something in my spirit. And I said, oh, Father, this is deep. And it's deep because when he comes to route of spirit and truth, everything's have to fall to the wayside. A lot of us are geared to and love to feed on that which is flesh that leads into darkness, that cannot worship or praise the Most High. We don't understand that as a nation of people. And what is strange to me is because the Gentile time is up, why is it a people still walk in darkness? And the only way I can see it is in the spirit realm. It's just like in Hosea. It said, my people perish. Why? Because they reject. They don't perish because they just perishing. Oh, the heathens done something to them. Or the white man is doing something to them. They perish because the Most High said. They perish. They die. Why? Because they reject knowledge. You know how many people that been here and has gone and never knew truth? There is millions of people that's in our nation that never knew truth, but truth has never been hidden. The only reason why we're going to stand before him and be judged in spite of the 400 years of being in captivity, you know why we're going to be judged? First of all, I'm going to tell you something that you didn't know. The judgment on you first going to start from the heaven. Why? He knew you before you got down here. So that's why it ain't going to be no mercy come judgment. It's because he already knew you. That's why you ain't going to get away with coming before him and say, I did this in your name, I did this. You're not going to be, your best bet is to go before him and hang your head down and wait to hear his sweet words. It's no need in trying to buckle up on him. On the reason why they would do that, because they never got to know who he was. They heard about him, but they never felt in their hearts to really learn who he was, who he is, and who he's going to be. So they leave here perishing due to lack of knowledge. I would rather perish with knowledge and understanding, which is the Ruach HaKodesh, than to just come here and come and go and know nothing. You see? Because that too has already a place in him before the foundation of the world. Now, Sister Deborah coming from a different end right here today. I spoke to you all several times. Hello, everyone in the live chat. I spoke to you all several times how I have learned and been taught from the back end. Believe it or not, there's two ends. There's a back end and a front end. Mm-hmm. The front end is what they're teaching you all now. Okay? And you feel good about it. But you're missing the back end. That started everything before the foundation of the world. But the only one can teach you that is the Ruach HaKodesh. It's when you shut your mouth, submit to him as if you know nothing, and he know all things. You got to feel that in your spiritual heart, that he is truly the teacher he said he would be. He is faithful to teach you all things, show you things to come, reveal things to you, be a comforter. You have to have a feeling in you to know that's who he is and some. With that being said, we're going to start on this topic called polygamy. Anybody in the live chat, I hope I can catch up with what you're saying. If you have any verses, any scriptures, you can just put them out. I'm hoping that your verses and scriptures matches what I have down here. Now, I will say this. We are not here to bash or to pass judgment on anyone. Let me tell you why. But I'm here to judge this thing called polygamy. And anybody that get on the horse, the stallion called polygamy, well, you're going to get judged riding that horse today. Because Sister Deborah is going to step in it in spirit and truth. I want to say something to you. Many people, they get on these platforms. They study people. They listen to people. And they counteract what people are saying in their messages. Those are sick people. Those are people who really don't have a life. Those are people who feel threatened by what one is saying. Those are people who are jealous and envy. Why? Because this person is saying something that's causing me to feel shame. That's causing me to feel guilty. So I got to counteract what that individual is saying in my own way. In what way is that? Their flesh. Because the flesh is the only one going to hold jealousy and envy based on what one is saying. But let's get back to the main topic, and that is polygamy. How many of you in the live chat are living in a polygamy lifestyle? Anybody in the live chat is living today? Someone got Corinthians. Let's see here. Someone got Corinthians, 1 Corinthians and 7. Okay, let's see if I have Corinthians. No, I think that was on my other side. Nope, I didn't have Corinthians. Oh, no, I can't drop this. I'm sorry. How many of you all in the live chat that are living a polygamous lifestyle? We're not here to bash and to judge anyone in a way that is not righteous. Okay, we judging the matter itself. Okay, I notice you have 1 Corinthians chapter 7. I notice you have that. Did you have a certain verse? Corinthians chapter, First Corinthians chapter 7. Do you have a certain verse, or you just want to just say the whole chapter 7? Oh, someone says they're not even married. All right. Okay. Now, with that First Corinthians chapter 7, do you have a verse on that? Or are you just speaking of that's one chapter that covers uh, something regarding polygamy? I'm gonna tell y'all something. If you ever have a situation with family, with husband, with wife, with your church, with your pastor, with anyone, the first thing you have to do is let the Ruach speak for you. You have to respect the Ruach HaKodesh and give it honor and prompts that it can cover any topic that you battle with. You see, it can speak on your behalf and on his behalf. So therefore, when you're speaking, and I'm going to show you how well it has worked with me in my life. When you're speaking, the Most High will give you the words to say. When he called me to called to me and said that I was a prophetess, I went writing verses after verses, scriptures after scriptures. You all, I was up for weeks writing and making sure I had notebooks wrote out, trying to master every chapter and every verse until the Most High said to me, wait a minute, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm trying to make sure I'm able to master all these verses and know where they at and what they are saying. So when people come to me, he said, who asked you to do that? That's what the Holy Spirit said. I said, but see, if they come to me, I want to be able to tell them where it's at. He said, who says it's there? You see? He said, I didn't tell you to do that. I call you as a prophetess. Tell me what book did the prophetess in time past have? He said, furthermore, tell me what book that any prophet had in time past. That they had to quote what it said. And he said, furthermore, go on to the 12. What book are they mastering? He said, I will be a voice for you. I will speak through you. So I say that to say unto you, my video about polygamy was based on, if they put their books down long enough and they put their flesh down long enough, they put their precepts, they little here and a little here, down, where did y'all say he'll be in? The midst. See, he can't be in the midst when you're battling fleshly topics. You can't debate polygamy. You can't debate it. It's vain and it's vast. You can come to the table and discuss it, but while you come to the table, know that he said, if two or more join in my name, where would he be? I will be in the midst. Let him be the mouthpiece and stop trying to be the first and the last conversation, the first saying and the last one saying, oh, it's this and it's that. You all, it's so many things that we cannot battle in this flesh. Haven't y'all seen that with your family members? How you know that you telling them the truth? You can show them in the verses the truth. You see? Can you see? Wait a minute. You said that I was the wife of one husband till death did us apart. Oh, it's sad to hear that. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. The Most High, what He has for that individual that He took out, I'm gonna tell you like I feel it. I applaud those that have gone. because they don't have to put up with the crap that we about to walk there in. People have to understand people are at sleep. They in a place of sleep. He's not going to destroy them before he judged them. They are at peace in a peaceful sleep. You see? But if they was here, this wouldn't be peace for them. I always tell people about my father. He was such a humble man. I wouldn't even want him to come back and hear and see what these things are going on today. I'd rather have him where he's at. Because everybody thinking being here in this time is the best thing yet. But what does the Bible say in this time? It's going to be the worstest time of any. But we look at it as the best because our minds of our flesh is messed up from the floor. So, but it polygamy mean either or. But we speaking of either or. But my main topic is because the women are not holding the flag, saying, "Come on, y'all, get with it, women. You might as well get with it. Polygamy is what's in. You better check and get with us. Because if you don't, that's on you. It's what's in style. It's the new trend." And that's what you see your Hebrew Israelite men doing. All this crap going on in the world. The beast is loose. He got his right hand in the judgment of the Most High Yah. And all our black men can sit and hold a flag. Polygamy. He didn't say we couldn't have more than one wife. And teaching these men this crap to the point of hate is bubbling up in them and causing them to hate women and take lives. And they don't even understand how the sword of their mouth is causing many to act on their hate. So it's really, polygamy is for a woman that has many husbands and a man that has many wives. I'm covering the both, but I'm really dedicating this to men that has many wives, because you're not going to find women with many husbands, you see. So I'm just dedicating it to men with many wives, because they have made right wrong and wrong right. And I'm going to tell y'all, just like I said before, anytime you have an issue in the word, in the book with anyone, don't battle the book. Don't debate the book. Because how can you debate? Say, for instance, somebody want to debate that Jesus is white. Okay? Say someone wanted to debate that. Could they prove that in here? No. But why is million following that, Deborah? You see what I'm saying? They have made it right. Millions and millions. They have made it right, even though it's wrong. You see what I'm saying? So why go to a table and debate somebody who's been living for thousands of years in their wrong, thinking and feeling and seeing things? You can't debate that. It's in them. So when you find men that has been in camps and in organizations and groups, in academies, in churches, in I call it cults, that have been drilled this over and over and over, you can't change this here. You can't change this. Because in them, they can go in here and see polygamy as a lifestyle that they saw David, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. And this is what they say. This is what they say. Solomon. But why is it? Can someone answer this? 1 Timothy 3. I bet you somebody been at my house, haven't you? Okay, no. You got 1 Timothy 3. I got 2 Timothy 3 and 4. You got 1 Timothy. We're going to cover that. So keep bringing it in, okay? Because we need to cover that. So why is it that people have not recognized who should we be mimicking? Yeshua came, which the world calls Jesus. He came as the Son of Man, which is flesh. Okay? Should we be mimicking him? Or should we be mimicking David, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Solomon? Who should we be walking like? Who? Should we go back and try to be like David, Abraham, Jacob, Isaac? Should we, or even Solomon? Should we mimic polygamy that they walked in? Or should we be trying to walk Christ-like? The one that come to show us how to walk in Yah. So which one should we be mimicking? That's very confusing, because the only thing they want to come on one accord with David is polygamy. Abraham is polygamy. Jacob is polygamy. Solomon, polygamy. They don't want to come on one accord to nothing they lived and how they walked, how they treat people, how they respect the Most High Yah, how they honor the Most High Yah, how they praise the Most High Yah. They don't want no part of that. They just want to walk like they did in a polygamy lifestyle. If that's not sick, I don't know what is. They want to bring it in this day and time and make it be righteous, and it is unrighteous. Just as you remember Abraham, he married a family member. Jacob married a family member. They married family. Isaac, a cousin. They married him, and then Yah came back in Leviticus and said, cut all that mess out. But here you in the year 2021, thousands of years, and our Negro men want to reach way back, pull out the only thing they feel they can walk upright in of David, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Solomon. Is they polygamy. If that's not sick, I don't know what is. So I'm going to go over some of the verses. Only Christ-like. Didn't he tell us that? All my life, I always thought, if anybody I'm going to mimic, it's not going to be my mother. It's not going to be my father. It's not going to be someone famous. It's going to be Christ-like. That's the only one that came to the earth to give us an example of how we can walk in righteousness. But we look not to mimic him, but we're going to reach way back thousands of years, pull out David having more wives, Abraham having more wives, Jacob having more wives, Solomon having more wives, so we can have more wives. You don't tell me that is not demonic. If that's not wicked, I don't know what is. That's it. Only Christ should we walk. We should only desire to walk and mimic the things that he did. Why do you all think that in this day, Yeshua said that you shall receive power and you should do greater works than him? He said, than Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said you should do greater. But where is, people been on this here YouTube, I'm exaggerating, thousands of years, and keep bringing you their own emotions, their own personalities, their own understanding, their own wisdom, their own knowledge. Why is she saying their own? It's because it's all in their flesh. That's why when somebody says something, it can knock them all the way down. They get so emotional, strung out, stressed, jealous, and they find something to come back to bounce on. Because that shows me the hate that's so rooted You can be on this devil platform for so long and get so lost and be nowhere near y'all. Just like, don't y'all see how a lot of people have, you see how the Europeans have been stealing and robbing and killing for all these years and got away with it? When that's a lot of people. A lot of people on this devil platform have gotten away with not leading you all to the light of Christ. But they have fed your flesh to keep your flesh liking and subscribing to them. And that's the best they can do. That's right. Corruptible instead of incorruptible. What's the difference, sister? What's the difference in two of those? Come on with it. What's the difference in two of those? Because that's the summon of my whole message. What is the difference between the corruptible and the incorruptible? There's a difference. There is a difference, a big difference. It is so different to where they have nothing in common. Nothing. What would you say that corruptible represents instead of incorruptible? What's the difference? Okay, somebody then stepped onto my John. Let me see if that's my John 1. Wait a minute now. Nope, you got John 2, First John, chapter 2, verse 6. I got First John, chapter 1, verse 4. Chapter 2. Oh, I like that. And it says, First John, chapter 2, verse 6. He that said it, he abide in him, himself also, so walk, even as he walked. Beautiful. That's a good one. Christ-like. But where is it saying like Abraham, Isaac, and David, and Jacob? It does follow. They want to walk that walk of polygamy. Why? Because it's a walk that has to do with the flesh. 2 Timothy 3. That's another one of my y'all getting them. Y'all pulling, 2 Timothy 3. I think y'all pulling my verses out. That's good. That's good. 15. 2 Timothy chapter 3, 15, 16, and 17. And that from 15 says, and that from a child thou hast known the holy scripture, which are able to make thee wise unto salvation through faith, which is in Jesus Christ. You see that? 16. All scriptures are given by inspiration of Yah. It is profitable for doctrine and for reproof and correction, for instructions and righteousness. Verse 17, that the man of Yah may be perfect through the finished unto all good work. How are you going to be perfect? In your spirit walk. That's another good one. That's a good one. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 15 and 17 was just read. And that's a good one. That's a really good one. Because that perfect is only in the spirit. You can't be perfect in the flesh. So why are we striving for perfection in the flesh? Can somebody answer that? Why must we strive for perfection in the flesh? This is what these men are trying to do. Because when they try to make something as polygamy to be righteous, because he said you couldn't do it. Okay, he didn't say you can. See, that's all you have to say. But with them, they're going to make right wrong and wrong right. And they're going to lead the multitude of people in that direction. One is spirit, one is flesh, and one is spirit. That's it, y'all. That's it. We can wrap this up right now because that's the whole topic. One is flesh and one is spirit. That's very good. That's it. Corruptible is flesh. That's right. That's right. Incorruptible is spirit. Now, why is he telling us to walk in this and not in the flesh. Why? Because in our flesh, we want everything our way, y'all. We do. In our flesh, we want everything to make us feel good. Do y'all know the reason why men are cutting up from the floor? Because in their flesh, they want to be kings. In their flesh, they want to be rulers. They want to be looked up to. They want to be honored and praised. But they give your father no authority. They give your father no praise. They profane his name. They disrespect him. They dishonor him. But they want you to treat them like kings, leaders, rulers, and kings. Deuteronomy 17. Now that's one I didn't have. Deuteronomy 17. What is it? 17 and 17. Deuteronomy 17, chapter 17 and verse 17. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself, that his heart turn not away. Neither should he greatly multiply to himself silver and gold. Now, what they would tell you is that he's talking to the priests. No, baby. He meaning that for everyone. Why is he's mentioning to them? Because they're supposed to be walking holy. And anybody that follows them, you should be like unto them. You should want to walk holy. You can't walk holy with 2 and 3 wives. Why? Because Yeshua said, have you not read in the beginning? That was not so. That's why I realized that we have a lot of people on this devil platform that have been heavily learned, but spiritual dead. I'm serious, because they can teach you to the top to the bottom and precept and bring all the books and line them, Hebrew, Greek, Torah, and line them all up. But when it comes down to what is spirit and what is truth, they know nothing. They know nothing, because they riding on flesh understanding. They riding on flesh wisdom. They riding on flesh knowledge. You see, anything that gives their flesh a boost, that's what they ride. That's right. The corruptible is darkness, dirt. Y'all know y'all good. Oh my, I'm not going to even have to read my verses. Y'all nailing it. Exactly. And the light is the Holy Spirit. So why is he asking us to walk in the light? Why is he asking us to walk Christ-like? Why is he asking us to do that if man saying, no, we believe in polygamy, walk our way. It's righteous. That's exactly what they're saying. They don't understand these things that you're teaching men. You're going to have to stand before the mighty throne, because y'all's going to say you introduced them to a whole bunch of darkness. Let me give you an example. Oh, we got another one. 1 Corinthians. Let me give you an example. Say, for instance, a man has 3 wives. Okay. They all working. And they all have children. And he has 3 wives. Guess what's wrong with that? Anybody? Can anybody understand what could be wrong with that? That's way beyond what he embraced, which is the lust, the desire to be a king and a leader and feel that he's so important. But let me tell you what outride all that is 4 spirits. 4 spirits. See, men and women that teaches you all on this devil platform seem to believe that we can walk in darkness. We don't have to walk in spirit. We can walk in the flesh. We don't have to walk in the light. And that's what they've been doing, you all, even to today. So when they say I can walk in darkness and I can walk in flesh, when I teach you, that's how I'm going to teach you. And I'm going to get the verses to support me. Why? How did they get to the point where the book said that Yeshua was a Negro? How did they get to the point where he was white? The book says something else. It's because they can teach a multitude to believe a lie. But the book said that he was a Negro. Now one of y'all understand that. Not now one of you on the live check could understand that. If the book said he's a Negro, how did thousands of years they got away with saying he was white? That's just like polygamy. They can get away with saying anything and precept it and lying and lure here and mislead you. But only on the outer man. On the outer man. Never can they mislead you on the inner man. That's why y'all said be ready to speak. Speak where? Out. Because he can give you what he needs you to speak. Don't be afraid. Be ready to let me use your vessel to speak. You see? Oh, yes, it goes. That's the whole thing. I'm going to show you something on there as well. We got John 4 and 24. Wait a minute now. Y'all getting too close to my verses. I got John too. That's good, though. That's good. That's John. And what we're trying to understand is, should we serve that which please the flesh? Or should we serve and want to walk upright in he that pleases the spirit? Polygamy bring pleasure to a man, bring enjoyment to a man. You see, a lot of them bring laziness, whoring, being able to bring all kind of lust and sin. And they don't know. Do y'all understand the time that we are in? Women are laying down with women. So why would you think that your flesh, which is darkness, can gather women together and you all are going to walk in Yah? No, you're not. You're going to walk in darkness because you are dark and they're going to be dark too. Why do you think it says in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 4 through 7? They're going to lead captive silly women. And what are these silly women going to be loaded with? What did it say in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 4 through 7? They're going to be loaded with sin and lust. You see that? In the last days. So is that not what they're doing? Yes, that's what they polygamy mean. Come on, yeah, we can have and have really throw down. We can have. How are you going to let's say, for instance, if you had a man that was teaching 3 children, okay, he had to be in a home and raise 3 children. That alone is a lot. But if he's going to want to be one that's walking in the light, he first had to show his light to his children. You see? And his children looks at his light, love the shine of who daddy is, and want that light for themselves. Do you think that a man that's following polygamy is going to walk in the light of Christ? No, he's walking in the flesh. Why did you say that, Deborah? It's first of all, his whole idea is to be a king, a leader, and a ruler. That's the mindset of him. I want to be looked up as someone. I don't want to do as much as I have to do with having these wives. So they're going to all have to work. I want to lay down with them. I want to have children by them. So when you finish, what about what y'all doing is holy? What about what y'all doing is righteous? What about what y'all doing is just? I just got to listen to, again, Jacob speaking to my spirit. Somebody might say, well, no, Jacob can't do that. Oh, yes, he can. No one tells the Most High to whom and how he rumbled. I know a lot of them figured I've been on here for 1,000 years. I can tell you what Jesus do and who he choose and who's who. That's their mindset. That's that jealousy and envy in them. But Jacob was telling me, Deborah, now I'm going to show y'all something. Jacob was saying, I want to show you something. I said, okay. When he began to show me Reuben, he said he lost respect for Reuben when he went in to his concubine. I think that's how they pronounce it, which is another form of like a wife. When his own son laid down with one of his wives. You see? This is the sort of stuff that goes on. So I said, Jacob, you still holding that against your son? He said, look, Deborah, read that. And I sat there and I said, okay, Jacob said, gather yourself together, you sons of Jacob. But they didn't come, did they, Deborah? I said, who is this here charging them? He says, that's Yahweh. He had to come and charge the sons. Get your butt in there and hear what your father has to say to you that's going to be upon you in the last days. And that's when they came before him. And he told Reuben, you ain't going to be crap. That's what he told him. He turned around and he also said to Simeon and Levi who they were and what they stand for. It wasn't good, but he was the father. But he was telling them, you your way, but I'm a different way. I'm the seed of the Most High Yah that came down here to crush the plan of the serpent and keep it going. You see? But I must go, but I'm going to tell you what's going to be for you. But guess why Judith? Guess why Judith was blessed? Do y'all know why? Lena, I think that's her name, Lena, which is Jacob's first wife, was hated by his other wives. Okay? And because of that, Lena thought that if I have a baby, oh, surely Jacob gonna love me. If I have another one, surely Jacob gonna treat me like this. Sure, did she had another? Oh, Jacob gonna really turn to me. All that time, this lady was having them babies. It was all to please Jacob. But when Judith was born, you know what she said? I give all my praise to the Most High Yah. So that's why Judah ended up, the tribe of Judah being who he is. You see? You see? That's why. It's because when she was counting all them babies she was having, it was all to try to turn Jacob to her and not to the other wives. You see that jealousy and envy? Who gonna tell me that's the will of the Father? Who? How can something like that be the will of the Father? All that hate and envy and jealousy. You notice Jacob true love died. Boom. She got out of there, didn't she? Wait a minute, Father, y'all. That was Jacob true love. Y'all got her out of there. Keep on thinking that this polygamy is righteous. It is nothing to do with righteous. Even they was practicing hate and dislike against each other. One was having more children to get the other one to pour Jacob toward her. And each one she had was hell on wheels. Till he got to Judah, and then she started to say, now I'm going to start praising Yah. When she had Judah. And thank him for Judah. You see? That's how Judah got blessed. And he today too ignorant to go back and see the chaos them people was living in a polygamy marriage. And they come telling you in this day and time all this crap going on that it's okay. They don't tell you the stories. Look at Hagar. Abraham laid down with another woman. What was that called? Because Sarah told him to. Me myself would call that fornication. I call it adultery. Because you just gonna lay down because your wife said? What did y'all do? What did y'all do? That lady had your child because your wife wanted it, but none of it had to do with the will of eternal. With Yah. Get them out of here. Send her away, said the Most High Yah. Just as Sarah wanted. But Yah had her son away as well. I don't care if that's your bloodline. That's not my bloodline. That's not my will. Send her away. Now, wait a minute. But if Yah is for polygamy, what difference does it make? You get what I'm saying? I'm sick of women trying to tackle these men in these books. They got you when they come bringing you these verses. Why? Because these verses have been smeared. Another thing about these verses is not going to identify spirit and truth. What you mean, Deborah? Why do you think the Ruach HaKodesh come? If he thought for 1 minute this book can nail it all, he wouldn't have caused the Ruach HaKodesh to come live in you and teach you all things and reveal things to you and to comfort you and to show you things to come. If he thought that this book had to answer to all things that is spirit and truth. It don't have the answer, y'all. But what is spirit and truth? So what they do, they come to the table, and what all these men and taught these men, and they come to the table and they want to be partaker in playing the role as polygamy. Well, I'm going to tell y'all something that I experienced yesterday. A man that was 31 years old, he said to me, ma'am, I really feel sad for Black women. And he said, sometimes it even make me want to cry because I look at them and all they want to be is loved. He said, but if I could stand on the mountain and tell them it's not even worth it. These men out here, because I am a man, I am a manager. I work with elders, young, all nationalities, but mostly with my people, males. And they don't want no part of a woman, none whatsoever. And they really, the women running, thinking these men really want them. But he say, they don't want no part of them. And they ain't afraid to see it. So that's why you see all this killing. It's because all of these GOCC, Pastor Dow in his form, his cult form, and all these other blind men walking around using this polygamy and putting it on a flag, making it righteous. How can it be righteous? Where is it going to be found in righteous? Nothing about it. And if it's not walking in the light, then where is it walking? It's walking in darkness. And I get sick of women getting on this devil platform. And like the Bible says, they ever learning, but never coming to the knowledge. Why? Because the knowledge in which they need to come to is spirit and it is truth. And it only comes by the Ruach HaKodesh. They don't want to come to that knowledge. They want to come to the knowledge that they can deceive and manipulate. I've heard several women in the last month trying to battle men regarding this polygamy. I suggest anybody, even in your home or anything with any issue you are, I'm not just talking polygamy. When you want to talk about something, put down the biblical word. Put this thing down. Put all that down. Let's come now, spirit and truth. Come on, let's rumble now. They ain't gonna have nothing. They gonna be useless. What Solomon said, vain and vast, because that's what it leads to. They ever learning, wants to master Torah, wants to master speaking Hebrew, wants to master a precept upon precept and line upon line, a little here and a little there. They want to master all these books. And when they finish and done with, what did he say do? You say humble and wait till the spirit of the Ruach come into thee. You see? Why? How can the spirit of the Ruach say that it will teach you all things and put your trust in no man, but then turn around and tell you trust him? He can have many wives. Yeshua told them when they were sitting here talking about giving a written decree, you know why? Them men was laying down with women after women after women after women. Just writing a written decree. I done had you and now you ain't a virgin. Get on out of here. Give me another one. That's what they were doing, y'all, way back in Genesis. Way back in Genesis, Lot was in a town. And the Most High said in that town was men and boys. That means young and old. And then I dug in it and saw where he said, on every corner and other cities, they all came to lay down with two angels that was in Lot's house. Now, the angels didn't look like angels. They was in men clothing. And who wanted them men? Men and boys. I want to tell you, our males have been messed up from the floor. They can't afford to try to mimic polygamy in their lives. They can't afford to teach this thing and make it righteous because it's darkness. Well, okay, Deborah, you can't say that it's darkness. Why can't I? Let's put it together. If polygamy means a man can have as many wives as he please, we just gonna give him 3. Okay, this man here, he got his 3 wives. What does it profit him to have 3 wives if it don't praise Yah, if it don't glorify Yah, if it don't honor Yah, if it don't worship Yah? I'm not talking about the wives itself. I'm talking about their spirit. Can they do that? No, because they battling which one of us gonna have them tonight. It's too many things in the flesh that's occurring that the men are ignoring because they're loving the idea of being boosted, proud-minded, and uplifted in their flesh. So they're not working on the spirit of these 3 women. They're working on their flesh. You see? To work for them. That's their flesh. For lust and sex. That's their flesh. To pay bills and to take care of and have babies. That's all in their flesh. What do you got to give Yah in trade for your polygamous lifestyle? Nothing. Because it's about your flesh getting pleasure. It has nothing to do with your spirit wanting to do what is righteous. Many of you all know just having one husband and one wife is more than enough. Especially if you have 2 children, 3, 4. Why, Deborah? Why must you say that? Because we all have flesh and we have spirit. So when we thinking we dealing with the flesh, we can be wrestling with the spirit at the same time. Because some of our children is so disobedient. We're wrestling with the flesh and trying to minister to their spirit at the same time. And can't wonder, Dad, how can I get he or she to understand? How can I get them to see what I'm talking about? It's right here and it's showing them to them. They just can't get it. Why, Deborah? Why? Because you fail to realize this is spirit and this is truth. You got to be able to get beyond that darkness of that flesh to tap into that spirit. And it is very hard. But when you trust in the Most High through praying and fasting, he break through that darkness and he bring light. But y'all ain't got time to play with polygamy and a lifestyle a man wants to feel with his leadership, his rulership, be on pedestals and boosted and giving him nothing. Because first of all, he has to first walk in the light to even get his own flesh in order. So how is he going to walk in the light if he got 3 other spirits that's walking over somewhere else? So what they working? So what they feeling your satisfying your lust? So what they're doing? They all are loaded with sin. We all are. All of us. We're loaded with sin. The only way we can defeat it is through the spirit of Christ. The power therein. But if we ignore that and figure, okay, I'm going to live a polygamy lifestyle because it said that we can do it. It ain't never told you can do that. It ain't never told the white man he can call Jesus white. But how many years have they done it? Thousands. You get what I'm saying, y'all? So what make us be naive in the last evil days and think that we can honor and worship and put on pedestal polygamy for men to feel good, to make sure they think that they are ruling, they're kings. Any woman on this devil platform ever touch polygamy in the darkness, in the flesh, you need to get your butt somewhere and sit down. Route with them in spirit. But y'all say, if the spirit is not there, then you ain't got nothing to debate. Because they're routing just like the Caucasians did. Made Jesus a white man, even though in there it says he's a black. They don't understand. It's in there saying one woman to one man. How is he going to create he and her at the beginning and create them and give him all the authority to do whatever he wants, and all she have to do is be cattle under his feet? That's what they did back then. I'm sorry y'all didn't know that. I know y'all didn't know that. When you look at Lot, what did he tell all those men and boys and all these other cities that was coming to have sex with the two angels? He told them, don't do this wickedness. Don't do this wickedness. That's what Lot said. But he said, I got two daughters. I can give you them. I can give you my two daughters and you can do whatever you please. Whatever you desire to them. But don't do that to these two men. That's wicked. See how their mindset was? That women wasn't nothing. And never will be. That's where the Negro men in its new awakening, Hebrew Israelite awakening religion is trying to get the women. You are to shut up. You're to make me all that I want to be. And you are to allow me to have what I want and how I want it. And you're not supposed to say a word. That's why Sister Deborah sat with several elderly men and they described to me how their grandfather and their father raped them. That's after I seen the program. I decided to do my own little in-depth study. And when I heard that, I was like, all my life, he always sung me around the multitude. And just talking to them, I heard them say these things. It wasn't that I didn't believe them. It's just that it is so hard because I was a mother. I was a woman that was in a household where a mother and father, and we had everything. But I was a 4-year-old down in the basement talking to a higher power. You see? So a lot of things that I've learned and still learning, you never learn at all. I say I give and take 20% is what I've learned. And hear these men talk about how grandmama and mama never said a word. They always beat on mama for nothing when they drunk. They always beat on them when they ain't had no money. They always did things. And you know what? That is a history. That is a history all the way back. They sold their daughters for money. For money. When Abraham sent his servant to bring in from his relative Isaac a wife, you should see all the stuff he gave him to pay for her. You see, that's what they did. You were only what they can put in their pockets. Let's go to Abraham. Why would he tell that king that's his sister, knowing that he had married her? Because he wanted something from the king. He didn't care that they was preparing Sarah to lay down with him. But my Father in heaven stepped on the scene. Don't you touch her. Why couldn't Abraham step on the scene and say, you ain't gonna do nothing to my wife? This is my wife. No, he wasn't concerned about that. But Yah, all power, stepped in on the scene and he told that king, you better not. She is his wife. But why didn't Abraham tell him? And who else did that? Isaac did the same thing with his wife. Said she was his sister. All because of what they wanted. They were sacrificing. That king was going to have his wife. Just so he can what? Get. See, the mindset of our men was messed up from the floor up a long time ago. We can't change that today. But as long as y'all continue to teach me from the wilderness, that is my mission, is to stand tall and shout loud. So what if it's one that hears me? Praise the mighty Yah. That's that one that was on the list before the foundation of the world. So who cares? You see? While others trying to chase subscribers and likes to edify their flesh, to get drilling done in them. I heard a couple of guys teaching about these people just might as well get ready. When they cut this mess off, these people are going to go into a depressed state of mind because they ain't going to be able to deceive you, manipulate you, get your praise, get your glory, get you to honor them. Because all the time they was on here, all the years, they never gave the Most High glory and honor. They brought the people to them, to praise them, to honor them, to worship them, to like them, subscribe to them. Wait, where's the glory for Yah? Where's the praise to Yah? Where's the honor to Yah? They have nothing for him. So all of this polygamy stuff, you all do not approve of that. It is for the flesh. The flesh cannot worship Yah. It cannot worship Yah. Okay? Yes, that's very good. Now, see how you said that? Don't that make sense, though? And where was that at? In the beginning. In the beginning. He never did have no connection to saying Adam had wives. He set his goal. She should come, him and her, they should become, two shall become one. So how can three wives become one with one male? They can't, because that's more than one. He said 1 and 1 is 2, and they become one. So how can three wives become one out of the way Yah created it? How can a woman own her own husband, as it is said, love your own husband? How has it become her own if he has 3 others? Does that make any sense, y'all? It don't make no sense. But they make right wrong and wrong right. And everybody loves it. How is her body belonging to him and his body belonging to her? So if his body belonged to me, he ain't gonna have no other women to give his body to. Does that make any sense? He said her body belonged to him and his body belonged to her. So how could his body go to 3 other women? Wait a minute. That don't make no sense. I'm going to tell y'all why. A lot of y'all haven't noticed they're trying to do away with what many call the Old Testament. They trying to chop up Paul. They trying to make him look horrible. Why? Because as they more and more knowledge is increased, they realize Paul is cutting them up and he cutting them down. And they don't like that. Paul, a man, is cutting them up and he's cutting them down. And they don't like that. They're saying, we taught this and we taught that. We thought Paul was on our side. Wait a minute. Paul's saying some other things that, wait a minute. We are in error big time. Unless the only thing we can do is do away with Paul. That's why a lot of them trying to curse Paul. That's why a lot of them trying to do away with the Old Testament. I mean, the new, what they call the New Testament. None of it is old or new. Not to Sister Deborah, because heaven knew all about the old and the new, and which man called the old and the new. Y'all call it his will. He don't call it old and new. You see? He didn't say not many. That's right. And you don't have to be single. You know, you don't have to be single. But let him that seek it find it, you. How do he find? If you pray to the Father and say, Father, let your will be done. Let me have someone in my life out of your own heart, which is spirit. And then he will send that one along your way. But you can't expect that one to be like you. See, some of our ignorant people, they say, I want somebody who like the things I like, who do the things that I would like to do. No, you don't. Because if you bring in your ways to the table, you want something different brought to the table too. You don't want to eat just your ways all the time, and that person eating your ways because they like your ways, and what, you're not bringing nothing new to the table. So what? His hair ain't all the way down to his shoulder. So what? He's clean cut. So what? He's dark skinned. So what? He light skinned. So what? He walks with a limp. Right now, it's about someone giving and gave, which is the love of Yah. That's going to love you as Yah love the church. You see? That's what it's all about. We're looking for something special. And we're going to get something special. We're going to get them ones that's out there. What did he say? Leading captivity, silly women. And I love what it says. Because he said they're loaded with sin and lust. Isn't that polygamy? All the way. And I heard this one guy saying they better get with the program because that's what's in town. It's booming all over the four corners. You go on, boom. You ain't seen what else going on the four corners? The bee is out. The beast is out. Control and fear. So you being polygamy, you just adding on to it. Go on, add on to it. Because when it all said and done, you're dealing with spirits. It's no way that you want to deal with someone else's spirit. And I'm saying to women and men that have dealt and are dealing with just raising two children. Those are spirits you're raising. So you have to deal with their flesh and you have to deal with their spirit. But the reason why you're dealing with them is because you have a love for them. You see, you birthed them. Or that's your son and your daughter. But why would you want to deal with somebody else's three? Because you love sex and you love lust. You want to be boosted. You want to be a king. You want to be a leader. Get your butt somewhere and find someone that's not going to let you tell her to shut up. That's not going to let you rule over her in that type of way. Because that's not the rule over her that y'all meant. Men have gotten it so out of line to where they start selling their daughters back in the biblical. For what? Soon as they come on their cycle, y'all. Soon as they come on their cycle. And men all over the world is doing it. And they've been doing it. That's why they don't have no problem messing with babies. They don't have no problem messing with babies. They don't have no problem messing with men. Because this desire went all the way to Genesis, y'all, to the Bible with Lot. All the way back then. In the book of Judge, y'all need to read that book. I think that was 19. The book of Judge, where the king of Judah, the ex-king, oh man, y'all should read that. It'll blow your mind. Why was that elderly man telling those men that was at the door so that they can lay down with the king of Judah? And they turned around, he turned around and said, here, you can have my daughter, or the concubine that was the belonged to the king of Judah. Why was they wanting to put them out there? They said, that's right. Don't do this wickedness with this man. Go on and do as you please with this woman. Y'all better wake up and read that. And ask the Most High to reveal to you what is really going on. Now, right here, I wanted to show something to you in Corinthians 7. Yeah, we covered that one. It's Corinthians 7 and 2. Didn't we cover that one? Did we cover that one? Corinthians 7. What's that? First? Yeah, I think we did, didn't we? 7 and 2. Corinthians 7 and 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own. You see that? His own wife. Does it say wives? And let every woman have her what? Own husband. What in that does they not understand? You know why? They don't want no part of spirit and truth. They want to satisfy that darkness, which is flesh. And this is why. I call myself drawing a picture here. And this is darkness. Okay? And this is light. Okay? Let's go to John chapter 1, verse 4 and 5. Okay. John 1, chapter 1, verse 4 and 5. This is what Yah was saying. In him was life. Yah is telling you he had life. Life is who Yah is. And the life that Yah had was the light of men, men. Why was that, Deborah? Because they carry the sperm that had the spirit, okay, which is a light. Every man, woman, boy, and girl is born with a light. It is called a spirit. I know the world have taught them that it's a soul, and that's the way they believe it. Just like they said, Jesus, Yeshua was white, and they believe it even to today. You got 99.9 of your Negro men and women believing he's white, even to today. Mm-hmm. So you see how bent out people can really be way from what is spirit and truth. So here it's saying in First John chapter 1, verse 4, in him was life, and the life was the light of man. What is that life is? That life is the breath that he blew it into Adam. And along with that breath that was in him was a light. That is where he said he gave us his image and in his likeness. His image is a light, child. He gave us a light, which is a spirit. He is a spirit. We are a spirit. It's in us. That's the light he said we need to walk in. Okay, now watch this here. Verse 5 says what? Here we go. And the light, Deborah, that I gave you all is shining. It really shined. That's what it says in verse 5. The light shined in where? In this darkness, which is in our flesh. But what he said, and the darkness comprehended not. And what he's saying is, in this picture this is our spirit man here. All this yellow is our spirit. That is the light he put in us. That is his image he put in us. Okay? Inside of this, our spirit, okay, this spirit is Yah's image. He put it in our flesh, every man, woman, and boy. Let's go to verse 9. That was the true light, which was Christ, which lighted every man that come into the world. John 1, verse 9. That was the true light. The true light means Yah, which lit every man that come into the world. So we all have a spirit that is the image of Yah. It's in our flesh. But verse 5 said that the flesh, which is darkness, refused to comprehend the light. Isn't that sad? So just think, all this time he created everybody, they refusing to recognize this light, which is a spirit. Now what happens? This is inside of the flesh. Who's on the outside? The flesh. I don't know if you all can see this. The flesh is on the outside and your spirit is on the inside. Your spirit has exactly what your flesh has. It has an eye, it has a heart, okay? It has a mind, you see, and it has a ear. Your flesh has 2 eyes, 2 ears, okay? It has a heart, it has its own wisdom, it has its own knowledge, it has its own understanding. Your flesh does. That's why I don't want to comprehend this part that's mighty in you. And what's the deal with your spirit? Guess what? He said the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. The spirit desire to do what is right, but the flesh refused to allow it. You see? So then we're dealing with flesh, which is darkness, and y'all gonna always call the flesh darkness. He gonna call it evil and wicked and everything else. Keep reading your book and you'll see. This here is your spirit. He says you have a desire. That's the good that's in you. It's your spirit. Why? Because he is good. And if he gave you his image of a spirit, then if he is good, you are good. Well, what are you talking about, Sister Deborah? He said in Genesis chapter 3, now man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Evil, good. He said, but don't you stop there, Deborah. Don't you dare stop there. But except they take up and reach for the tree of life and eat thereof and live eternal. So just because your spirit is good and your flesh is evil, you still got to be able to reach for the tree of life and eat of it. You see? And who gives you that ability to do that? The Ruach HaKodesh. After you have accepted the mission of Yeshua HaMashiach. HaMashiach is the right hand of Yah. It is all his power. He ushered the Ruach HaKodesh into your what? Spirit. Now here's your spirit. Do you see that outer one? Can you see that outer? That's the spirit of the Ruach. It covers your spirit. It protects your spirit. If you don't know how to uphold his commandment, guess what? He's letting your spirit abide in his spirit and you become one. He is the commandment. You see? So it's no way you cannot uphold the commandment. I was listening to him talk about how when those stood before him, he said, I was hungry and you fed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you visited me. And you know what that spirit said? Wait a minute. When did we do that? You see, there's things we're going to do that's going to worship Yah, but we ain't going to even know of. Them spirits was up there saying, well, when did we do that? He said, when you done it to the least of them, you have done it unto me. I saw it, even when you can't remember it. You see? And if that's not grace and mercy, I don't know what it is. That's powerful to me. And how dare we try to treat him like he's a human and he ain't nothing. We got some serious issues. Okay, now this is what is happening with polygamy. The men are recognizing the flesh and not the spirit. So polygamy is righteous in the flesh and unrighteous in the spirit. Let's say that again. Polygamy is righteous in the flesh. Because the flesh what? Evil, unrighteous, unjust, wicked, whoremongering, lust. Where? In the flesh. But polygamy can't step on this end. Why? Because this is spirit and truth. It don't have no dealings with it. You remember Solomon? He said, give me all wisdom and knowledge. He gave him that. But after a while, Solomon was saying, all this crap is vain and vast. He's right. He's right. Because when it's all said and done, they ain't going to accept it like Yah created it. They're going to continue to do what they're going to do. So he said, I tell you what, whatever Yah done gave you, go and enjoy it. That's your portion. So if men want to continue to wave the flag of polygamy, and all these here gay men are out here of our nation, at least 70%, we got to get a big 10-15% alcoholics, another 15% on drugs. But they have the audacity to want to rule us. We women are sick to let them even stand on that sort of pedestal. If they're not worshiping our Father in spirit and in truth, don't let him take his flesh and rule you. Because this flesh, he said, must be under the subjection of its spirit. And if it's not, you don't get up under this flesh. If he ain't got his flesh under the subjection to the spirit of Yah. Because this means this flesh loves drugs, it loves homosexual, it loves many wives, it loves alcohol, it loves whoremongering, It loves to be disobedient, rebellion and disobedient. Well, how would you say that, Deborah? Why are you talking about them like that? What did y'all say? Did not he call them whoremongers? Did not he call them adulterous? Did not he call them stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient? See, we want to put them somewhere they don't even belong. And this is not saying this is how all the tribe of Judah or the whole house of Israel. But to Yah, he got them down for judgment. They're in the midst of judgment. And like I say, many of you all refuse to do your study. Do your study. That's why he allowed this devil platform to last this long, because he wants you to get a full meal deal before he caused this thing to get shut down. So you won't go up to him talking about, I didn't know, don't know nothing. Learn now so you can be ready later. And any women, silly women that's following men that only recognize their flesh and have no respect for their spirit, nor the Ruach HaKodesh that uphold their spirit. That's how you uphold the commandments, you all. That's how you uphold his law. That's how you love him. It's in your spirit. He said this thing here, he don't have no dealings with it. He said the flesh can't inherit the kingdom of heaven. It can't worship him. It can't honor him. It can't do nothing. That's why I said when you go before him, go to him in spirit. Don't go to him in this flesh. And this is how the men understand. This is how they learn. This is how they understand. And this is the only thing they agree with. That's why you can see them on the corners cursing. You ain't never heard Pastor Dow cursing up like a chimney. He went and got him a couple of wives. You see why? He taught it first to where he manipulated other men to go out and do it, to where he figured he won and got victory. Because now he got a lot of them believing in it. And then that's when he dipped in and got his. That's deep to me. But they can have whatever they want to have. Said the Most High Yah. They can do whatever they want to do. Said the Most High Yah. He said everything was written in the heavens before it hit the earth. So when they thinking they pulling one on you women that's silly, that's on Yah. But I got everything listed according to my will. I even created wicked for the days of evil. So they ain't getting away with nothing. You see? What is going to happen? It's a lot of chaos in the land. A lot of things are happening. And this is where our men are at. They in the flesh. They know nothing about the spirit, y'all. 99.9% of our women don't either. That's why they can't talk in the realm of spirit and truth. They can only talk in this lane. Because their flesh is caught up. They've been on the devil platform in this lane for so many years, they can't even touch this realm. Because they don't know nothing about it. They don't know it exists. They still calling this realm soul. But this is a spirit. This is an image of Yah that he made out of his likeness. It's a light that he gave us, which is a spirit of him. And he gave it to every man, woman, and boy. He created all things. People that are cloned, they don't have a spirit. They don't have that. But Yah gave those wicked ones for the days of evil the gift to be able to create those things. You see? Why? Because he know that they thinking they going to throw him down and they ain't going to win nothing. Yah said put on the whole armor. Do you think he mean on your flesh? That's sad, ain't it, y'all? To really think the whole armor of Yah, the whole armor, is for your flesh. That's what the Christian teaches too. Because they really think that they're going to survive on the outer man. Know that this going down to the grave, which called hell. It stank after 3 days. It means nothing to Yah. This is the vessel in which he held that part that belongs to him. Isn't that beautiful? But they don't think of it like that. Now, let me show you this here. Just imagine a man here. Okay. Let's say that he's an elder and he had 3 wives. He hasn't recognized that it's three of these spirits, not the Ruach, not this Ruach, but three of these spirits is separate from three of these flesh, and he's flesh. So how are you gonna be a king, a ruler over somebody else's spirit? If that's the only part of them women that can worship Yah, who gave you the authority to be over their spirit? Only one can be over their spirit is the Ruach HaKodesh, Christ. No flesh of no man can be over the spirit of those women but Yah. You see? Which is Christ. So while he's running around here getting jobs, making them work, building the house, having babies, he doing what? He having more of these spirits. So while he's running them in the flesh, they're being forsaken in the spirit. That's why y'all say one man and one woman, which is two make one. And then he turned around and told them this is a mystery. It's like Christ and the church. That's deep. Christ being the head and the church is the body. You see? These ignorant men are so ignorant. They are lost without a cause. And when Sister Deborah said ignorant, I'm saying it harsh, but ignorant with the understanding mean they don't understand. That's what it means. And the sad thing about it, the Most High could probably say something else, like he says, stiff-necked rebellion, disobedient, whoremongers, adulterers, idol worship, because a lot of us don't understand. When we on these devil platforms, that's idol worshiping. They never did. The house of Israel never got away from it, even from the book of Genesis. They never got away from idoling. And when you're on this devil platform giving everybody the praise because they teaching you something that does not give Yah the glory, how can you praise somebody who ain't giving the Most High, your creator, the glory? They're giving themselves and you praising them. Get right. In 1 John, verse 2, and the light shined, Deborah, but the darkness refused. This flesh refused to know that every human being has a light. They want to control the flesh because the flesh is darkness. It's not going to inherit the heavens. Y'all don't give that no credit. And this is what the men are doing. They leaving the women in darkness and they falling therein. Because they don't, he said, the reason why they perishing, Deborah, because I used to always quote that. My people perish due to lack of knowledge. And I said, wait a minute. He said, no, you need to stop stopping there. You need to go on down because I tell you why. And it tells you just as plain because they reject. They reject. So I want you to know that the Ruach overshadow your spirit and your spirit abide in his spirit and he in yours. That's what holds the commandments. That's the part that loves on him, desire him, that desire to walk with him and in him. Even when this here is doing wrong, y'all ain't gonna hold you accountable because he got you here. He got you here. He don't care about this. He said, I got you here. I can turn your sin into sinless. I got you here in the spirit. That's the only thing that's going to stand before Yah come judgment. That's the only thing that's going to see the New Jerusalem. This mess here ain't going to see nothing but uttermost darkness in its spirit after it died, if it lived to please the flesh. So if they want to play polygamy and make it righteous and it is wicked and evil, why, Deborah, is it wicked and evil? Because it brings no glory to your Father. It brings no honor to your Father. It can't praise the Most High Yah. It can't honor the Most High Yah. Well, what do you mean? He said he created everything for him. Okay? Now, either you created for eternal or you created for damnation. One or the other. So if you're going to do everything you want in the flesh and bypass trying to come one in him, that's why they don't want you to know about the spirit, your own nature. They don't want you to know about it because they know that once your spirit knows that the Ruach covers you. That's why when I first got on here, they was using the law and the commandment like an iron claw. I said, Father, what the crap are they doing? He said, they using it like an iron claw. Why are you using them commandments like that? Only one can hold it is him that is in thee than he that is in the world. He know this flesh is in the world. It serves the world and the ways of the world. If people knew that they had a spirit, they wouldn't go get that V. They wouldn't go get it. Because greater is he that is in thee than he that is in the world. But because they're in the world and people like Sister Deborah ain't out giving these people, and I'm going to be held accountable as well, the light that rests therein, they turn to darkness. You see? And they walk in this flesh. They get the V because they thinking the V is going to deliver them. They don't understand you got a spirit, baby. Let that spirit be overshadowed by your Ruach HaKodesh, and it'll take you every place you ain't never been. You see? So say for instance, this flesh go get the V. Say for instance, I'm going to take y'all there. Say for instance, this flesh go get the V. If this flesh go get the V, and this spirit had the Ruach in it, it ain't going to be effective. Ain't that deep? Ain't that deep? He said, greater is he that is in me. This in thee. Who is that greater in thee? The Ruach HaKodesh. So if this flesh so weak to where it feels safe getting the V, soon as he get or she get the V, it's going to bounce off. Guess why? Because they can penetrate this flesh, but they got to cross the Ruach HaKodesh, and they ain't going to be able to do that. You get it? If they get the V, it cannot penetrate through the Ruach HaKodesh. You see what I'm saying? So it's bigger than what y'all think. But if people don't want to understand things in spirit and truth, they have to go out like this. But we cannot tell this individual that the Ruach is not in them. Only they know if he's in them. And I wouldn't advise people to go get the V because it is a choice to take a chance. The Ruach might not be settled in you. Did not he say, once you receive the Ruach HaKodesh, you shall have power. You shall what? Drink poison, and it shall not harm you. Why? You can get bitten by a snake, and it shall not harm you. Why? Because the shield of the Ruach HaKodesh is shielding your spirit. Now, it'll tear you down here. It'll kill you here. But this right here, the Ruach has sealed his. He's after the Ruach after this spirit. I don't know if y'all can see the Ruach is the outer line that I have here. The inner line is your spirit. He said, your spirit abide in mine's and mine's in yours. And we become one. So how are you going to become one in him if you all that up in a man? Letting him rule you, control you, bring other women in and out, can spread many diseases. One woman can have a yeast infection. Next you think you know, all other wives have it too. How is that righteous? Can't nobody answer that because there's no answer for it. It is righteous. It's righteous in this. It is righteous in the flesh, but it's wicked and evil in the spirit. Okay, so that's what my drawing was all about, is to be able to show you a little bit of an example. I hope it did a little. Always shine through dark. Didn't you hear him when he said it's like a light, what is it? It's like a candle that cannot be hidden, or like light on the what do you say, on the mountain that cannot be. That's how that all in which Yeshua HaMashiach fulfill, it's filled that lamp to where your oil shall never go out. That's why the brides, the other five brides, that's why they all was there. They had it to the brim, but they weren't gonna give those who didn't have none. No, they weren't gonna get it. Oh yes, we perish from being stiff-necked too and rebellion. But he said that. He said until they are destroyed, and they don't get that either. They don't get that. They think they're gonna live forever, and they're gonna see Babylon going down. They don't understand you're gonna be here when they go down. You're welcome. You're righty. But that time moved, didn't it? But yeah, that was pretty much. And if I would just lay out a few verses, if I would go to John 3:19. Verse 19 said, and this is the condemnation, that light is come unto the world, and men, and it's not saying M-A-N, it's saying M-E-N. And that's another thing a lot of women don't understand. When you're reading and the Ruach is teaching you, let the Ruach tell you to shut up. I ain't talking to you. He wants you to understand. When I speak to men, understand I'm speaking to men. When I'm speaking to women, understand that I'm speaking to women. Don't get yourself caught up in what I'm trying to tell them. Understand what I'm trying to tell them so you can teach and give to them what I'm saying, but don't place yourself. And that's what they do with us. They place us in everything that Yah is saying to them. Like in Romans 1, when he's telling the men about being gay and loving their own kind. And they first thing they said that he talking to women too. No. He said, because you did it, men, your women turn the natural use and let you do whatever you want to them. That's what he's talking about. If you want to tell the truth. But they don't want to say that. They want to include, oh, she's homosexual too. He's talking to her. No. He said who he was talking to. But they counteract that. They won't precept that. They won't read that. They won't say that right. And in here, it says, and in this condemnation, that light is coming to the world, and men loved darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. That's the same thing, y'all. Same thing. That's why they want polygamy. And they want it in their flesh. It is no part of the Most High Yah. And when they're having lust and sexual desire and going to women, if you got the Ruach in you, which is Yah, why do he have to be partaking you in your wives? That's not what he created. He said from the beginning, I made him and her. I made them. And then he said, you male leave and go to her and cleave to her, and you all are two going to become one. Now I can deal with that because that's the marriage and togetherness that I created. But when you come around here telling these people that you can have as many wives as you please and it's okay, you's a lie. Because if you're going to do all of that, how do you think I'm going to feel for you to bring all that to your temple and I dwell therein? Why should the temple that y'all rest in deal with you and several wives? Tell me, y'all, do that make any sense? How is you going to lay up with 3 different women and y'all spirit is in you? He said he'll take your life before he lets you disgrace his spirit that rests therein. He said he'll take your tail out of here. And the men know what I'm talking about. He said it. I take your tail out if you bring that mess to the temple, because you are the temple and I dwell there in that temple. So if he dwelled in your temple, what are you doing with 3 women? He got to go. He inside of you. This spirit is inside of you. And you laying up with 2 and 3 women out of his order, out of his creation, out of his will. Talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and David. Go back and do your study on their polygamy and see the evil and wicked that was founded. I could not believe Leah was going through everything she was going through. She was wicked as well for her to sit and play a game trying to chase Jacob and going up against her own sister and the other women that was having children. That was crazy. But then you're going to tell me it's the will of Father said it's okay. Use a fool. Use a fool. And in here it says, verse 20 of John 3 and verse 20. For everyone that doeth evil hate the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds be reproved. You see what I'm saying, y'all? So when in the last 2 years, I've been telling y'all, go to the light. That is only your only place of comfort. That's that light that rests over your spiritual light that keeps you. So when we turn away from that, child, I don't want no part in that. I want to walk in this. That's a horrible thing. And the sad thing, I'm going to say that again and again. People do not understand where they at in life. Why is it we don't understand how horrible it is out here? Why is that? We don't see the judgment of the Most High Yah in the midst. We don't see the beast's right hand. We don't even see his fear and his control. We don't see that Babylon has already fallen. We just falling right along with it. And we don't even see it. We ain't even calling on the Most High Yah. He said, Deborah, I ain't heard them. I ain't heard none of them cry. And that's sad. That's sad. Because before he was able to deliver the whole house of Israel from out of the bondage of Pharaoh, something happened. He heard their cry. It went to the heavens, to where his throne is at. He said, now, these people, he don't hear nothing. And you know what? And if the women can tell the story, they know it is. But they're going to sit in this darkness and play this game. Don't ever be so eager to have a man in the bed. Because when you have the man in the bed, you have this flesh. And like the young man that was 30, when he broke that down to me, you should have heard his voice. You can tell that he wanted to cry because he said his young experience working as a manager and going all different places successfully and being around elder Negroes and younger Negro men, working with them. And he said, just to hear what they be talking about and how they feel about our African women, and in his voice just started trembling. He said, I feel so sad for our Black women because they don't know. He said, they don't even know. These men don't want no part in them. They would rather have each other. And I knew that because a year ago, I asked the Father, I said, what is this with these Hebrew Israelite men? They got a different embrace with each other. And I say, how could they be talking so harsh, but have a close grip on each other when they embracing each other? And I was like, something wrong with that picture. Something is wrong with that picture. Because how could you teach so much hate toward women, so much hate toward the oppressor, but you are embracing the men so closely to your body? So this young man, when he was saying, I wish I could hear his voice tremble, because you can tell he wanted to kind of cry, because he said he felt sad for our Black women. And I do too, even though I don't sound like it and I might not look like it, I do. That's why I stay on those who's causing them to not be the best that they could be. Because the best rests in them, but they turn away this for this. They find more pleasure in their flesh in darkness than here. But they didn't understand, if you stick with him, He'll give you him with him in him. But we don't want to do that. We want it our way. And that is not of Yah. Very dysfunctional. Yep, that's true. You know about that? Yep, that is true. And I heard it is, and the only way you know is because you always see them that can't take it anymore leave. When they become 16, 17, 8, they leave saying they can't take it. And a lot of them commit suicide. You see, because, but just look how they're breeding, having all these children with this same mindset. But these children ain't got no Yah in them because they didn't understand that they are a light. And the capital light will rest in you to protect you so you can make it to the eternal destiny. But these Negroes ain't teaching that. The women not either. They're more so stuck on stupid because they want subscribers and likes. And you all have successfully made them meet their goal. Colossians. Oh, I didn't know something in Colossians. I'm all over in that area, but I didn't know something was in Colossians. Let's see here. What verse is that? 26. Is that right? Yeah, Colossians 26. I didn't know Colossians not that big, babe. Yep, Colossians is not that big. So it would have to be 2 and 28. Could that be? Nope, it can't be 2 and 28. So, Colossians 1. There you go. I'm sorry. Okay, there it is. Even the mystery which have been hidden from ages and from generations, but now is being manifest in his saints. Beautiful search, beautiful verse. To whom Yah would make known what is the richness of his glory, of his mystery among the Gentiles, which is Christ in you, and the hope of glory. And I really wanted to stress that too. They got us bent out about the heathens than the Gentiles, but Yah have adopted the Gentiles through faith. They're going to be side by side. You see? But they ain't going to teach you that. So we can't say all white people are this. We can't categorize them to be what our Negroes are saying. They can't even get their house in order. I heard GOCC saying, okay, we need to get our house in order. Guess what he called getting his house in order? Getting our women in check. How is that your house? You better be getting your spirit in check with the Most High Yah before you go into eternal fire. That's your true house. It's not to control another man's spirit. Just because you think you're going to control that flesh, Yah going to show you. You don't control nothing. And all the women that's silly wants to follow behind this, go right ahead. But yeah, that's Colossians. Oh, wait a minute. It's 28 too. Colossians chapter 1, verse 28. Who we preach, warning every man and teach every man in all wisdom, that we may present every man perfect in Christ Jesus. How can we present him? The Spirit. Let me show you something there. You see this picture here, y'all? Let me show you something. This flesh has fleshly wisdom, fleshly knowledge, fleshly understanding. It has fleshly eyes, fleshly mindset, you see, and fleshly ears. None of that is of Yah. That's what they teaching you all on the platform with. That's what they teaching you on the platform. This here, it has wisdom, knowledge, understanding. You see? It has, he said, he that have an ear, not ears, it has an ear and it has an eye in the spirit. It is separate. When he said, give me all your heart, spirit, mind, and strength. He talking about this here. He don't want this. You get it? He want this. Your spirit. We have to know that he wants the spirit to abide in his spirit and we become one in him. He don't want this mess here. He don't want your mind. It's fleshly. It's evil. It's wicked. It's full of sin. He don't want your heart. It got to go back to the ground where it come from. It's wicked too. He don't want your fleshly mind. It fights against your spiritual mind because it wants to rule, it wants to control, and it wants to have its fleshly ways. So this has wisdom, this has knowledge, this has understanding, so do this. And this is where you have to understand the difference between the two. So when Deborah said and say to you all, they can't challenge you. They can't bring you to the level of debate. That's why I tell people you can't debate the word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yah. And you can't debate spirit and truth, for it is spirit. How is Yah gonna let you debate this? You ain't got nothing to debate. You can't take the word out of a book and debate what is spirit and truth. You can't do it. You won't win. So stop women trying to debate these men from this book. From this book, for thousands of years, they said Yeshua was white. And they still said it, even though it says he's black. How can you debate it? You can't. Why? They've been thinking it and believing it for so long. Even if you showed it to them, they wouldn't believe. You see? So don't go debating people based on this book. Because this here book, he said he'll rightly divide the word of truth. The word of truth can be taught out of this book, but Yah's Holy Spirit have to divide it so you can understand what is spirit and what is truth based on what man has smeared and messed up. Only the Ruach can do that. And he said that. He sure did to their own. He said that. Which one was that he said that in? That he turned them over to their own. It's in Roman, ain't it? Yeah. Listen to, let me see if this is it. Roman 8. Oh, Roman, if you have a time, you all read Romans chapter 8. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Where he's talking about, oh man, I hate that I lost that. I had it tagged. But yes, what you just saying, I've read that. And he was talking about how they're not going to have no affection. They're going to be traitors. They're going to be high-minded. He was saying all kind of things. And he was saying loving the flesh. He all through the book, it tells you that. But yet, they want to honor and worship this. They don't know. They call this here, y'all, a soul. It's a spirit. It's a light. That's why people don't know. Oh, okay. So you read it a few days ago. Okay. Oh, they will follow him because the Most High said that they will. Remember, he said, silly women, lighter with sin, led captive. What's the deal with the captives, Father? What's the deal with the captives? It's because these men, Yah has warned us, women, that they're going to lead you captive. Wouldn't you be tired of being captive after being in the land for 400 years? You ain't got enough. So now you want to be captive by your own nation, who's telling them to tell you to shut up, keep quiet. Now they want to do away with the one that said it, which is Paul. So what did that say about them? They ain't dealing with a full deck. Their elevator don't go up and down at all. It don't move. I don't care what number they pick. It don't move. They own natural affection. Natural affection. And you know what though? Like I said, when that young man was saying that, he said he wished he could tell all the women, don't go out here working, giving your money, doing everything for these men. They don't want you. I try to figure it out. I couldn't figure it out, but I thank the Most High for him being a man and coming to me like that. He's a manager for a company. He's been a manager for everywhere he go. He'd be a manager for companies, traveling. And he just, when he was telling me this, he was like, in the very emotional, because he was saying it's so true. They don't want the women, and the women thinking they wanting them. And he said the women go all out of the way and they be buying them trucks and buying them stuff and doing this and buying them clothes, and they don't have no affection for them, no care, no give or gave, which the world call love. Oh yeah, Roman is really good. Yes, because that, I mean, that Roman 1, oh man, when he sat there and it told the men who they were, and he didn't care how he said it. But guess what? You'll never hear a man on these platforms with the Hebrew Israelite movement precepting none of Romans chapter 1. Oh, they won't do that because it shows you who they really are. A lot of women don't understand. A lot of these men are in the closet. A lot of our men are on drugs, strung out. Their mind is gone. They on alcohol. They on meth. They on all kind of stuff. But these ignorant Hebrew Israelites want us to take these men that loaded with sin and make them leaders and rulers over us. Because if their mindset is where it's at, just imagine the other men that are out there. Because if the men in the Hebrew Israelite movement mindset is the way that it is, don't think that that which is out there is not like that. That's why you pray to the Most High Yah. And you know what I found out? When you pray to the Most High without ceasing, guess what? He got to honor it. He got to honor your prayer. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Oh, yes, he got to honor it. That's something he got to do because you've been praying for it and you never ceased. It ain't like you've been in a long prayer. You just called out something. But every time you're on your knees, you're calling it out. Oh, he got to answer that. He got to answer that. He got to show up and show out. Oh, yes, he got to answer that because that's who he is. That's Romans chapter. Oh, yeah, that Romans. Hey, I'm telling y'all, that Roman is really cutting up. I mean, I love Romans chapter 1. And it answers a multitude of questions for women. If ever a woman wants to know, Romans 1, bust it out. Verse 26. For this cause, Yah gave them up unto a vile affection. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. Their women. We're talking about everything. Anal, sex, oral sex, woman against woman. Why? Because the men. That's what he's talking about. But I bet y'all don't know what he really talking about, do you? He's telling the women that they become just like him because for so long this is how they done. And the women feel that they if I can't have them, why not join them? That's what they're doing. Why you say that, Deborah? Go back to Lot in Genesis, in the beginning of the Bible. Go back to Judges. That's a part of the beginning. When these men, these homosexual. So when we sit into today and talk about homosexual, we're wrong. We're wrong. It is sin. It is abomination. That's all we can say. It is unrighteous. It is unjust. That's all we can say. We can't make today bigger than what yesterday was that started. So if yesterday started this crap, what makes you think today is not worse? But today is the product of yesterday. So our naive men teach polygamy based on what they heard thousands of years ago, and they want to bring it in today and make it a part of the religion that they serve, this newfound awakening, the Hebrew Israelite. This is a lot of sick mess going on in this. No spirit and truth, none whatsoever. All flesh, all flesh. Every last one, even GOCC, all flesh. He teaches all flesh. Pastor Down with his cursing mouth, all flesh, all flesh. And all these women on here, it's called themselves teaching all flesh, all flesh. They don't know nothing about this, what I just showed you all. You all know more than them and don't even realize it because they don't know nothing about this spirit being the light. And they don't know that the Ruach covers your spirit. That's why Christ, you can't come in no other door but through Christ. Why? Because Christ is Yah's right hand of power. It's his all power that usher this spirit around your spirit. So you can't deny the power. And what didn't he say? They deny the power. Didn't I just tell you that? Because this is what they want to worship. This is what they want to walk in. And honestly, I think I've been teaching this for 2 years. All they want to walk in is darkness. I never drew out a picture, but this is what I've been saying for a long time. This is all I'm saying. This is darkness. It can't worship Yah. And this is where they want you at. The Hebrew Israelite movement. The Hebrew Israelite. The new awakening. They don't want you nowhere but right here. Because they can't handle spirit and truth. They don't want to accept the Most High in that area. And yes, Roman talks about all of that. The natural use and burning in their lust one to another, men with men working, which is unseemly, and receiving themselves the recompense of their error which was made. What he's saying is they enjoying it, child. They enjoying it. So how in the rat's behind I'm gonna follow your dark tail in polygamy? Women do not support that. Do not support polygamy because it is the work of darkness. It is wicked and evil. It is lustful. It takes over the silly women that ladder with sin and lust. It has no connection to what is spirit. Because if you had 2 wives, how are you going to bring a second wife to the spirit of the Most High Yah that abide in you? When y'all only understand it, one man, one woman. What if this man right here decide he want a man? You think he can bring it to the spirit of the Most High Yah? He better not come nowhere near him. He be dead. That's the same with this polygamy. Y'all allow all kind of wicked and evil come up on them families because they trying to usher his spirit into their mess. Go on. You want to play polygamy? Play it over in the field somewhere. Take y'all tails and make your own denomination and your religion, wrapping it around it, teaching these men hatred and evil, and that they should have as many women as they please. And Pastor Dow is breathing young women to give unto these men and think nobody don't know it. See, people don't think that Yah is high and low. He sees it all. They don't think like that. They think he can only see from a distance. He don't see nothing they doing. They gonna get away with everything with his cursing mouth. Do you you see what you're saying? You see now how fair is that? Where can we put righteous in that? Do y'all understand? And this is sad. Oh, Father, I don't even know where to start with this one. Everything the Bible speaks of, it speaks of the men and the children. and how the man's supposed to raise his son, and how a man must not call his children to wrath. But if Yah is speaking all of this, and he's saying all of this, but never is there a man in the house, then what's wrong? So the hell have to lean toward the mothers who wasn't predestined and ordained to handle all that he charged the men. But they have to. It's called doing what you got to do because you don't know what else to do. And even though your choices and your whole ideal and your plan might not be 100 righteous, you're doing and you taking on that which the men have turned away from. And Yah has charged them in his word. Because I said, and I read in there where he says, men, if you don't raise your son up, he's going to bring sorrow to your mother. Men, if you don't do this with your sons, it's going to bring heartache to your mother. It's going to bring sorrow to your mother. All these things. And we as women too ignorant to see that it has successfully brought us all this hell, and we still standing tall. Y'all never thought of that, did you? Go back to them words and see. Why you think he never said it for a mother? Stiff-necked rebellion and disobedient. It can't be the women. He calling it like your forefathers. He's talking to the men. Oh, but they will make you think that he's talking to you. Why do you think he's in the process of even purging you? He's going to kill your son by the sword and your mighty men. Your men that you're going to think all that and all that. He's going to kill their tails. That's why there's going to be 7 women to 1 man represent the women going to live. That's what that means. They got you thinking, oh, they don't have it. No, that's not what that means. It's showing them that I'm taking you down. I'm not going to kill her. I'm going to purge her up and I'm going to purge her down. I'm going to bring her head to a scab where it's burning. I'm going to strip her from all those clothes that y'all have made mandatory for her to wear. And I'm going to put her in sackcloth and she's going to moan and laminate and cry. Why? Because the last purge, part of the purge, is to kill your men. And now one of y'all ever read it to see. That's what it means. Showing you it's going to be so many women that's going to outride how many men that's going to be left. That's what that's talking about. Can't no man take away your reapproach, but the Most High can. See, they don't understand that. And everybody, he said, the women and the men, they're going to be called holy. Because I'm going to be in them purge the daughters of Zion. I love it when I hear him say that. Hallelujah. He said, I'm going to be in purge the daughter of Zion. And she going to be called holy. It is beautiful to know the word of the Most High in spirit and truth. Oh, my God. He said he going to purge her. Oh, yes. Everybody doing it. Yep. They doing it everywhere, even on their jobs. I heard they doing all the kind of stuff on their jobs. Everything. The church, they've been doing it. The church, underground clubs, all kind of things. Everything is wicked. That's why I say when the Hebrew Israelite men came out, they should have came out firm in the order that is spirit and truth. Instead, they came out in this order and they got, what is it? Boasted, pride-minded, uplifted, want to swing, ruling, control. And they got to be deceivers. And they got to be something that represents the flesh and not that which was representing Yah. So Yah let them go in the direction that they feel pleasure and please. That's why they don't understand if you got 200K, 400, 500, a million K. You got it through the what? Do anybody know? You got it through the broad gate. Look up why hell was enlarging during the time of the house of Israel. Wicked. The broad gate. See, they thinking because they got what they want, they have, that makes them righteous. Y'all could care less about how many subscribers and likes. He knows that you've been getting all the praise, all the glory for your flesh. You still walking in this. Now look at the church telling people to get the D. They doing everything, y'all. They doing everything. Oh. It don't matter. They just, and I don't know what else to say. All I can say is y'all stay in the light. That's all I can say. Okay, that's all I can say. In Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 20, be ye, but ye have not so learned Christ. That's good. That's really good. I like that. If so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him as the truth in Jesus. Okay. Verse 22. That ye put off concerning the former conversation, the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust. This is who we talking about. I love that. Thank you for that those verses there, because it's fitting exactly what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying as far as them. This is what it's all about to everybody today. Guess when they're gonna try to escape from this? The first of the year. It's on, y'all. I told everyone, I think it's been 2 years now, before Biden got into office, that he ain't gonna be there. They're not planning on letting him be the president. He was just put there to cover up something. All this war in them other countries and all this stuff, that's a throw off, y'all. So they can get the fear and control of this bee implanted the way that they want. So now they want you to see all this war over there and what they're doing over here. They feeding. Why? Because the beast's right hand is the media. It controls everything that's being said and brought to you from your phone, your laptop, your TV, your news, your everything. So therefore, they're feeding you only what they want you to feed into. But the truth be told, what are they hiding? It's what they got planned for this dark winter. While everybody is focusing on polygamy and all this other crap, trying to get women in control and allowing the men of the tribe of Judah to go out on a murdering spree, and nobody even recognize, and even y'all don't see it. I know y'all don't see it, because if you can see it as I see it, spiritual, y'all probably wouldn't get enough of talking about it. Y'all be having a woman in y'all heart, several of them, saying she died like this, she died like this, he killed her. Why? Because that is what he says. Shout out loud. But no one is saying anything. No one is telling these men, but they want the white man to respect them. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Right? They say you have to watch it online if you don't do what they tell you to do. And you know what bothered me, y'all? How dare you say that ain't the beast? How dare you say that is not his mark? I don't get it. I don't care anymore. Y'all might not even believe it. I don't even care anymore, because I have done what he has called me to do. I can't do no more than that. They can do some things to us as a people, but I know that I'm in this light. I'm shielded by the Ruach HaKodesh. So whatever they do to me, They can do it to this. That's why he said, don't be afraid of he that can destroy this. You better watch yourself. Because he that is around this can destroy this and this in the lake of fire. So while we worried about them destroying this, see how ignorant our men are? They worried about this. They're polygamy. Shut your mouth. Let us rule. Let us be king in this. They ain't worried about this. He said, you can't be worried about this. Because this here gonna die. You better be worried about this. Because this can destroy this and that. Oh, yes, they already said that. Oh, a lot of them decided not to accept you into the sanctuary without it. But that's going back to tell you. And when Sister Deborah get on here, to me, I think we have just as many ignorant women than we have ignorant men. And I really want to call them worse than ignorant, but I don't think the Ruach going to allow me. But the reason why I say that is they counteract things you say and like to put it in their order, in the way they can proceed it, the way they want to say it, and the way they think it is. And they want to call people evil and wicked, but they don't understand. Yeah, it's judging your butt. He done told you, touch not my anointing and mean them no harm. He's talking about their ugly mouth, and they so ignorant they don't even know that. They think since you all don't know who they talking about, they think y'all don't know. He dwells within, individual, not a building. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Okay, Ephesians 4. You forgot 23. Let's go. Ephesians 4:23. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Didn't I tell you this spirit of yours have a mind? I told you. They never preached that on this devil platform. I have not heard nothing like this on this devil platform. Not even from Josh. Because they don't understand this is a spirit, not a soul. This is the light of Yah. Now listen to this. And be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Why? Because this is going to connect to the Ruach. And y'all going to become one. He said, you're going to abide in me and I'm going to be in you. That's beautiful. Okay. And then verse 24. And that ye put on a new man, which after Yah is created in righteousness and truth, holiness. So what I was saying to you all, polygamy cannot be found under righteousness. It is not spirit and truth. That right there telling you that as well. We have to understand. It says in 24, and that ye put on a new man, which after Yah is created in righteousness and truth and holiness. So why in the rats behind they want you to join them in polygamy that holds no righteousness? It holds no holy. It holds no truth, nor no spirit of truth. So how are you going to make it right and okay to lead other spirits to be your wives? Okay, what else? That was 25. Oh, I messed up that, didn't I? What was that? I lost my page. Ephesians 4. Let me get it back. And did I do 25? Let me hit 25. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak there every man the truth with his, neighbor. For we are members of one another. In the spirit, we are members, not in this flesh. We are members in the spirit. The Christ has a body. He's the head. And all of us is in his body, in spirit. You see? He's the head. Who is his head? Yah. He's It's deep. It's deep. Why do you think he said after the Holy Spirit has come upon you and is dwelling in you, you shall receive power? Do you think you're gonna receive power in this? No. Talk about it through this way. Ephesians 2:2. Wherein in time past, this is Ephesians chapter 2, verses 2, you walked according to the course of this world, according to the princes of the power of the air, the spirit that now walketh in the children of disobedience. You see? So people who has the flesh and their spirit that does not have Yah, Christ in it, they're walking in the spirit, in their spirit. Now, this spirit is with every man, woman, and boy, but it don't have Christ. It don't have the Ruach HaKodesh. But it's saying here, where is it at? What was that? Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 2. And ye have, wherein in time past ye walked according to this world. Why? Because this and your spirit walks according to the world. Because your spirit don't know how to overpower your flesh. That's why y'all said, get your spirit, your flesh, under the subjection to your spirit. Why? Because once this understand how to be controlled by this, then you can control this. But they don't teach people that your spirit is supposed to be ruling your flesh. Instead, they teach you that your flesh rules it all. That's why I want polygamy, because I want it in the flesh. Okay, and if you listen to here in Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 2, wherein in time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, which is the devil, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. Now, who is the children of disobedience? If he said the forefathers, he's really sending a message that all of the children of the forefathers. But a lot of things, as you read, you know he's talking to men. But what they want to do, they want you to teach you as if he's telling it to you. That's why there's no order. You remember when I was telling you about in Leviticus 26, how he break that thing down? You got to come to him repenting for your sin and your trespassing and your forefathers' sin and trespassing. You don't come to my throne trying to repent for you, because your forefathers still doing the same thing in you. So you can't come to me and my throne repenting. You got to repent for you, your sin and your trespassing, and the sin of your forefathers and the trespassing that they have therein. They had therein. And see here, it's said, according Ephesians 2 and 2, according to the princes of the power of the air and the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. And isn't the Hebrew Israelites is called disobedient, stiff-necked, and rebellion? So he's talking to us. And that's way in Ephesians, almost at the end. So God's dealing with us so many ways, and he has. And we have forsaken everything that he stood for and what he mean and how he have dealt with us. We don't want no part of him in righteous. We want no part of him here. And he said he will not rumble with us in the flesh. So when I see ignorant stupidity debating about food, about what we are to take in, all the commandments, polygamy, I said, look at them sick souls. Look at them sick souls, because that's what they call themselves, souls. Too ignorant to know that this thing is spirit and it is truth. Yes, it does. That's what my daughter was saying, that the Most High gave her a dream and was explaining to her And she said she woke up just in tears because she said it was explaining to her how wicked her flesh is. And I couldn't even say a word. I just didn't say nothing. I just, oh yeah. Oh, that was some dream. I didn't add on to it. I didn't take away. I just listened to what she was saying. And I mean, she had it. You all, let me tell you. Yah crossed her T's and dotted her I's. He told her everything about her flesh to the point that her flesh is never, ever going to mean her no good. Oh, yes. He was telling her it wants to see her in a lake of fire. I mean, she was telling, it was in a dream she had. I was like, wow. But that's all true. And that's why I can't rumble with the lifestyle of our men in the flesh. And they really thinking they walking upright. They think they really upright. That's right. That's right. That's right. When we die, you see that shield? You see Christ around us? He got us. He got us. You see? We can't lose with him. We lose without him. That's 1 Corinthians 10. And 11. Now all these things happen. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 11. Now all these things happen unto them for an example. And they are written for our admiration, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Is it another one? Now all things have happened unto them as an example. And they are written for our, and you see, they don't even want whom the end of the world are come. It's sad. And they think it's about them, the Hebrew Israelites. See, all the things we just talk about, y'all, it's not saying Hebrew Israelite, Hebrew Israelite, Hebrew Israelite. It's telling you about what is spirit and truth, what is in the light and what is walking in the flesh. They don't want no part of that. They want to say that Deuteronomy 28, they bothering us. They killing our brothers. It is not a police in the last 3 months that can outweigh a death of a black man the way our black people are killing each other out on these streets in great numbers. I know here, even in where I'm at, they killing at least 20 a day, our own people. And we run around here talking about we the people. Yeah, you the people, all right. You better understand, like he told him, look at the stars. It was once this, but it ain't that no more. So, okay, you all, we have been on here 2.5 hours. I appreciate each and every last one of you all for coming on. 20 a day. Wow. Oh, yes. And what made me feel kind of sad, this Caucasian man had did a study, and he was on there today, and he was telling, now that's in the city. That's not even meaning in the whole Missouri. So it's been more than that. But when I say 20 a day, honestly, I'm not telling the truth. It's really more than that. I'm trying to get you all to understand the reality of what is going on. And if you don't do your own study and your in-depth of what is happening, because what is happening is going to prepare you not to feel sad and drained and heartache and trouble. He said, let not your heart be troubled, because greater is he that upheld you, hold you. He will keep everything right for you, and he will going to be your protector. Not just you, your children, your husband, your wife, but you got to trust that he got this. He knows what he's doing. So I, Sister Deborah, like to say thank you all. I love you all. I appreciate you all coming on today. And I really do. I thank you all for coming on and sharing with me some of your thoughts and some of your scriptures and your chapters. And just read more into it. Never take what Sister Deborah say. Say to the Father, Sister Deborah taught this. Could you give me some in-depth and enlighten me more allow me to see what thou hast given her. And you know what he'll do? He'll get you in your sleep, in your dreams and ambition, and he'll take you all the way. He'll give you more than he even given me, because that's his desire to do that. Because it's time for Sister Deborah to bag out. Thank you so much, babe. Praise the Most High Yah. Thank you so much. But we had a time, and I know Sister Deborah wore you all out this tonight. It's 10:30, so it's not too late. But I just thank the Most High for you all, and I'm going to keep up praying for each and every last one of you all, so you all can be the voice for many. I know you can, and I know you have, and I know many of you are working within your homes, within your families. Okay, I know that, but that's why he's pouring out many things to you, because it's going to be a time when people are going to come to you. They're going to be wanting to hear the right now word from the Most High Yah. They ain't gonna want to go a precepting and line and little here. They ain't gonna want to go to YouTube to this person that been on there for years, and all they doing is wrapping their message around and around in a circle, getting glory for them and nothing for Yah. They're not gonna want that. Their hurt gonna be too deep, y'all. You all gonna have to deal with the people whose hurt is deeper than deep, than it has ever been on the face of the earth. That is what you all are called for. Even though you think that, hey, when you on here listening to Deborah, it's deeper than that. Because I can hear in the grave, I say in the hell, when the rich man said, if he can come back to warn his brothers and his father, no, 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 you ain't coming back in the bosom of Abraham. Said, no, they have what I gave them, Moses and the prophet. If they don't hear them, that's too bad. That's pretty much what he was saying. So a lot of people don't understand. Yah is coming through the right now prophets. He ain't coming to these people who've been on these platforms for years, pretending to be the prophet, the evangelist, the teacher, the pastor, the seer, the watcher, the boy, all this for years after years after years, and never bringing you to the light. Never. And been getting glory from you to praise them, but never bringing you to the light. So I, Sister Deborah, say I appreciate each and every last one of you. And now you all have given me a lot of verses. Guess what that tells me? That you know it. You know what the light consists of. You know who the light stands for. You know the power of that light. You know the righteousness of that light. You know the just of that light. And you know who the light is. And can't nobody mislead you all. And I, Sister Deborah, say unto you, I will see you again. Shalom and shalom. And thank you. Love you.